स्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यस्य कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam thematic course 2. Yesterday we began with this discussion, which is the 6 questions of the sages. I'll just recap what we discussed yesterday and we'll continue. In the thematic series 1, we discussed the first 3 verses of the Bhagavatam, and we are beginning with the thematic series 2, where the 6 questions of the sages, which are there in the first chapter, we discussed. After Vyas offers the Mangala Charan, then immediately he takes us to Naimisharanya. And the glory of Naimisharanya is spoken, Naimishe, Nimishe, Kshetre. The rishis were assembled there for performing a sacrifice to attain Swarga or to glorify the Lord who's glorified in Swarga. And then uh, these sages welcome Suta, give him a asana. They give him an asana. And what does asana mean? Vyasasana. One has to represent a Vyas viewpoint. That is the meaning of Vyasasana, Prabhupada explains. And then the sages speak to Suta Goswami that you have studied the Puranas, Itihasas, and you're spotless. You're free from sins. You're not only studied, but you can explain them. So Prabhupada focuses on Anaga first, that one should be free from all vices before one can dare to sit on a Vyasasana. Not only one should be free from vices, one should be thoroughly well read with the Vedic literatures and should be able to read and explain them. And then you're the best of the Vedantist who has studied Vyasadev's Vedanta Darshan. And you have also studied all the other darshans, and you can, you are very Saumya, you're simple and pure at heart, and you have attained the mercy of your spiritual masters. You're very affectionate to them. So please reveal us. So that's how uh, the sages of Naimisharanya glorify Suta Goswami. And this is a very important principle which will repeatedly come in the Bhagavatam, and it is right now set here that before one put forth questions to the spiritual master, one should glorify the spiritual master genuinely from the heart. And here you can see the sages of Naimisharanya are glorifying Suta Goswami, your Anaga, your Akhyatan Aditvan, your Veda Vidam Shrestha, your Saumya, your Stigdasya. So this is how one should genuinely glorify the spiritual master before he put forth questions. And you'll see this theme repeatedly coming in the Bhagavatam, and it is a very, very important principle. When Sut Goswami begins to answer, he glorifies first his spiritual master Sukdev Goswami. When Vyas is despondent, Narad Muni arrives. Immediately, Vyasdev glorifies his spiritual master Narad Muni. Now, this in our today's practical context, how to do it, the application might vary. That we might not directly in front of in the Bhagavatam class start first glorifying the spiritual master before asking a question. But genuinely, from the heart, we should glorify. And when we are in personal meeting with the spiritual master, we should glorify and then put forth questions. So that is the principle and the etiquette what we see from this verses. Now, after they glorify the spiritual master, then the 6 questions will be put forth as we had discussed in the overview. If you remember yesterday, that from verses 9 to 23, the sages describe the content of state of affairs of Kali Yuga people and ask 6 questions expressing their eagerness to hear. So these 6 questions will start from verse 9. So let us begin today from verse 9. Tatra tatraanjushayushman bhavata yadvinishchitam Humsam ekantata shreyas tanna samsitum arhasi. O long-lived sage Ayushman, you should tell us at once Bhavatayad in easy terms Anjasa and thoroughly Vinishchitam, certainly ascertained or thoroughly the highest object of mankind. Pumsam ekantaka Shreya. What is the highest Shreya? That you have discerned in Tanna Samsitum Arhasi, all the scriptures. Tatra Tatra. Tatra Tatra means all the scriptures what he had studied. He had studied all the Puranas, Itihasas, and the Vedanta Sutras. So from there, what is the highest object of mankind? That you have discerned from that. So this is one of the first questions put by the sages of Naimisharanya. You should explain what is most beneficial for human or for human society or for humanity. Okay, let's see Prabhupada's commentary. In Bhagavad Gita, worship of the Acharya is recommended. So this worship began with the glorification of Sudha Goswami by the sages of Naimisharanya. So where in the Bhagavad Gita is worship of Acharya recommended? Which verse in the Bhagavad Gita does worship of the Acharya is recommended? Anyone knows? Raise your hands. Anyone knows? Raise your hands. Which is the verse where the worship of Acharya is recommended? Prabhupada usually doesn't give in the bracket the Bhagavad Gita verse reference in his Bhagavatam commentaries. Also, I need to know what is the reason. So 2 questions. Where in the Bhagavad Gita worship of the Acharya is recommended? And why does Prabhupada doesn't in the bracket give the Bhagavad Gita references? Exactly this is the verse. Whereas in Ishupanishads he does. actually the original work of Ish Upanishads, which Prabhupada wrote, he gives all the references of the Bhagavad Gita verses. So where in the Bhagavad Gita worship of the Acharya is recommended? Who will answer this? Who will answer this question? Tirthpad Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandatman Prabhuji.
Yes.
No idea Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay. Virendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, is it true tad viddhi pranipatena pariprasnen sevya?
That,
Four
of course,
point.
how the disciples should approach the spiritual master is there, but the worship of the Acharya is recommended. Devhuti Kapil Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sorry, I
Yes.
don't have any idea on this.
Okay. So let us open the Bhagavad Gita. So it is 13.8 to 12. Acharya Upasanam Saucham. Acharya Upasana means worship of the Acharya, approaching the bona fide spiritual master or worshipping the Acharya. Acharya Upasana means worship. So in this verse it is mentioned. And why does Prabhupada doesn't give the reference? Prabhupada expects that one who is studying the Bhagavatam is thoroughly well read with the Bhagavad Gita. So he wants us to do research as to where these references are. The Acharyas and Goswamis are always absorbed in the thought of the well-being of the general public, and especially their spiritual well-being. Just imagine the heart of Prabhupada, always absorbed in the thought of well-being of the general public and especially spiritual well-being. Spiritual well-being is automatically followed by material well-being. The Acharyas therefore give directions for spiritual well-being for people in general. Foreseeing the incompetencies of the people in this age of Kali or the iron age of coral, the sages requested that Sut Goswami give a summary of all revealed scriptures because the people of this age are condemned in every respect. You give us the summary, the sar, the essence, because you have studied all these scriptures. Just give us the essence. The sages therefore inquired of the absolute good, ekantaka shraya, which is the ultimate good for all, for the people. What is the ultimate good for all people? The condemned state of affairs of the people of this age is described as follows. So that is in the next verse, verse 10. So Prabhupada is giving the connection between this verse and the next verse. So this is one of the first questions put forth in 119. And let us go to Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's commentary. Now, when the sages speak this verse, Tatra Anjusa Ayushman, what is going on Sud Goswami's heart? Vishwanath Chakra Thakur brings out that. He says, Vishwanath Thakur, Sud Goswami is thinking, then I will speak all things. I will speak everything. So the sages reply, they reply with this verse saying which conclusions they want to hear among all the conclusions of the scriptures. So let me speak all the things. No, they are saying no. Give us the conclusion. You have studied everything, so give us the conclusion. O long living sage, this indicates that he had studied and deliberated on the scriptures for a long time. So Ayushman has a very deeper meaning here. Not only that they are blessing that you live long. No, Ayushman here, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur brings out that he had studied and deliberated the scriptures for a long time. Tell us completely, ekantakaha, or from the beginning, concerning the highest goal of mankind that you have discerned from looking at all the scriptures, tatra, in statements that may be understood at once. So very interesting. You have studied all the scriptures, tatra tatra, and you give us in an easy way which we can easily understand, because we cannot do research, especially the people of Kali Yuga. And it should be easily understood, Anjasa, at once understood, once statement, and it should be understood. To give us that. And why it is so? Again, that is, they explain it in the next verse. Shreya means that to which there is nothing greater, that which has no equal, and that which is not included in something else when comparing degrees of excellence. So there are three meanings which Vishwanath Chakra Thakur is giving for Shreya. There is nothing greater than that, there is no equal, and it is not included in something else when comparing degrees of excellence. Like Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. By Bhagwan, you can attain prema. But Paramatma and Brahman features, you cannot attain prema. Right? So when you compare the degrees of excellence of attaining the absolute truth in Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan features, what is again attained in Bhagwan cannot be attained in Paramatma feature or Brahman feature. So that's the third level of meaning. Now, Vishwanath Chakra himself will give the answer. Later in the work, it will be revealed that this highest goal is prema, not swarga or liberation, because prema brings even Bhagavan under control. So it will be mentioned. Savai pumsan paro dharma yato bhaktir adokshije, to develop pure love for the Lord. Among the forms of Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, Bhagavan is the chief form. Okay. Let's go to the next verse. If you have any questions as we are discussing, you can always raise your hands. Now, why do the sages say that you are long lived? Because for a long time you have studied all the revealed scriptures, and you give us that can be easily understood at once what is the ultimate goal of humanity, Ekanta Shaya. Because people in Kali Yuga cannot, do what you have done research. So give us, this is a condemned state of affairs of Kali Yuga that they explain to Sut Goswami in this verse. Prayenalpayusha sabhya kalavasmin yuge janaha manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hi upadhrita. Over the sage sabhya, capable of knowing what is beneficial at this time. Asmin Yuge Jana, this time, Asmin Kali Yuga, you know what is capable, what is beneficial. In Kali Yuga, people are generally short lived. Prayen Alpayusha, lazy, unintelligent. Manda means lazy. So Manda Matayo means unintelligent, devoid of the good fortune of devotee association and afflicted by various problems. Manda Bhagya, they don't get the Bhagya to associate with devotees, and afflicted by various problems. Upadrita. So this is the state of affairs of the people in Kali Yuga. That's why you have studied everything. So give Anjasa in an easy way, because this is the state of affairs of the people of Kali Yuga. Let's see Prabhupada's purport. Again, Prabhupada goes into the heart of the pure devotee. The devotees of the Lord are always anxious for the spiritual improvement of the general public. When the sages of Naimisharanya analyzed the state of affairs of the people of this age of Kali, they foresaw that men would live short lives. In Kali Yuga, the duration of life is shortened not so much because of insufficient food, but because of irregular habits. Irregular habits. I remember once I was taking a very short train journey from one city to another city. It was just a 50-minute journey. And I was sitting in front of a family with children. And as these hawkers were coming by one after another, within that 50-minute ride, 7 times they purchased food items. Sometimes bhel puri, sometimes ice cream, sometimes some snacks, sometimes chips. Irregular habits. That's how, Kali Yuga people are. Now, Prabhupada gives a very important hint, and this is very important within our movement also today. By keeping regular habits and eating simple food, any man can maintain his health. Especially this eating simple food is a necessity today. By eating just simple food, you can keep good health. Overeating, over sense gratification, over dependence on another's mercy, and artificial standards of living sap the very vitality of human energy. Therefore, the duration of life is shortened. So, by overeating, over enjoying the senses, depending on others, your energy is drained, and that's why your duration is also reduced. So, Prabhupada, in this paragraph 1, he is concentrating on Alpayusha. Why people in Kali Yuga have Alpayusha. In the next paragraph, he speaks about Manda. The people of this age are also very lazy, not only materially, but in the matter of self realization. The human life is especially meant for self realization. That is to say, man should come to know what he is, what the world is, and what the supreme truth is. Who am I? This is Jiva, this world, Jagat, and Jagdishwar. Jagat, Jeev, Jagdishwar. Tattvatraya. In the Upanishad, this is called as Tattvatraya. Human life is a means by which the living entity can end all the miseries of the hard struggle for life in material existence, and by which he can return to Godhead, his eternal home. But due to a bad system of education, men have no desire for self realization. So, the very modern way of education, Prabhupada in the later purports will bring out, it is like sending to slaughterhouse. Very, very heavy statement. So, this modern education system is geared in such a way that people lose the what you can say, the very impetus to inquire into self realization, this material education. This is a bad system, Manda. Now, Prabhupada further says, even if they come to know about it, they unfortunately become victims of misguided teachers. So, the teaching in the material world today is only material education. If somebody is spiritually inclined for self realization, all the teachers are fake teachers in spiritual life, victims of misguided teachers. Okay, now, next paragraph, Prabhupada hints on. Let us see who will answer. In this age, men are victims not only of different political creeds and parties, but also of many different types of sense gratificatory diversions, such as cinemas, sports, gambling, clubs, mundane libraries, bad associations, smoking, drinking, cheating, pilfering, bickering. Pilfering means, usually robbing, Pilfering is, Prabhupada is using a very, very particular term here. It's picking up other things. Bickering means, arguing or petty matters. Petty matters you argue. That is bickering. So here in paragraph 3, what is Prabhupada focusing on from the verse? This is the verse. Or not 9, it is 10, sorry. Yeah. What is Prabhupada focusing on here? Anyone, when he's mentioning what is Prabhupada focusing on? Yes, Birendra Yadav Prabhuji. Always raise your hands to answer questions. Don't type anything.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Here is in referring to Upadruta, Prabhu. Upadruta.
Padruta. Okay. Anyone else? First paragraph he spoke on Alpayusha. Yeah, yeah, okay. Tirthpath Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Manda Sumanda Mataya Prabhu.
Manda Sumanda Matayo. See, each term has a different meaning. So, Manda means lazy.
Yes.
Sumanda Matayo means unintelligent.
Yes.
And Manda Bhagya means devoid of good fortune. Upadrita means afflicted by various problems. So, which exactly is he referring to?
Sumanda Matayo.
Sumanda Matayo. Unintelligent. So, these all diversions, sense gratificatory diversions are what? These are, they are unintelligent. Okay, Devahuti Kapil Prabhuji. Yes.
Prabhuji, I was also thinking Sumanta, the only unintelligent.
Okay. Sumanda Matya is unintelligent. They don't want to, intelligently read the scriptures and understand the purport of it. But there are these sense gratificatory divergence. And we can see even in all the devotee communities today, although we have taken up to spiritual path, what is the greatest diversion? Anyone? The greatest diversion is distractions due to mobile. So we have got this good fortune of taking up to Krishna consciousness, but there are so much distractions. So it is Manda Bhagya. It is Manda Bhagya. I hope you got the point. It's Manda Bhagya because of these all sense gratificatory diversions. Yeah. Their minds are always disturbed and full of anxieties due to so many different engagements. Manda Bhagya. In this age, many unscrupulous men manufacture their own religious faiths, which are not based on any revealed scriptures. And very often, people are addicted to sense gratification, are attracted by such institutions. So, another Manda Bhagya is even if he is interested in spirituality, they go to people who manufacture their own spirituality and their own scriptures. Consequently, in the name of religion, so many sinful activities are being carried on that the people in general have neither peace of mind nor health of body. Now, Prabhupada comes to, within the spiritual society, the student brahmachari communities are no longer being maintained, and the householders do not observe the rules and regulations of the grahast ashram. Consequently, the so-called vanaprasthas and sannyasis who come out of such grahast ashrams are easily deviated from the right rigid path. So this is another level of mandabhagya. Mandabhagya. In Kali Yuga, the whole atmosphere is surcharged with faithlessness. Men are no longer interested in spiritual values. Material sense gratification is now the standard of civilization. For the maintenance of such material civilizations, man has formed complex nations and communities, and there is constant strain of hot and cold wars between these different groups. Prabhupada is referring to especially the communist and USA and USSR, communism that time, the strain which was happening in the 1970s. It has become very difficult, therefore, to raise the spiritual standard due to the present distorted values of human society. The sages of Naimisharanya are anxious to disentangle all fallen souls, and they are seeking the remedy from Srila Sutta Goswami. So Prabhupada focuses on Manda, that people are lazy in self-realization. Sumanda Mataya, that because of bad education system, they don't inquire into self-realization. And Manda Bhagya is what? That they are misguided by wrong teachers. And Manda Bhagya further is what? Sense gratificatory diversions in the form of clubs, sports, cinemas, mobile. And if you go to a spiritual institute, there are fake teachers and they have their own scriptures. That is again another Manda Bhagya. So that's how Prabhupada focuses. Now, Vishnu Chakra Thakur brings out this very more clearly in his commentary. Now, Sudha Goswami is saying, you should hear everything from my mouth, then you can decide what is the best. They're told, na, Ekantashraya, you hear everything from me and then you decide. The sages say, the sages reply in this verse, no, it's not possible because this is the affairs of this people in Kali Yuga. Oh, honorable sage, you who know what is suitable for time and place. In Kali Yuga, people are generally short-lived, alpayusha. Even if they have long life by chance, they are lazy to investigate spiritual topics. That is manda. This is manda. And even if someone is not lazy, he is unintelligent. He is not lazy, but he is sumanda matayo. He doesn't have that mati, intelligence, to investigate spiritual matters, even if he has a long life. And even if somebody is intelligent, he is unfortunate, for he is devoid of the association with devotees to teach the highest actions. He is manda bhagya. Very difficult to get association of devotees. Now, how many of you will admit, raise your hands, that we have come in the association of devotees, we have got this great fortune of practicing Krishna consciousness, but still we are unfortunate that because of so many diversions in maintaining the family, so many diversions and distractions, we don't get to associate with devotees. Raise your hands. Yes, everyone admits that, so we don't get the fortune to associate with devotees. So this is, situation. Even if someone has that association of devotees, he is afflicted. Now, what is Vishnu Chakra Thakur here speaking? You have association of devotees, but he is afflicted. What is being discussed from the verse here? What is Vishnu Chakra Thakur discussing here? Okay, I will show the verse so that you can find out. What is Vishnu Chakra Thakur exactly pointing out here in the verse? Which line or which Sanskrit word is he pointing out? Anyone? One hand has been raised. Yes, Birendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, he is referring to Upadruta.
Padruta, yes. So many problems with the body and the mind, so many health issues. You are in the association devotees, always afflicted with disease. Under the control of affliction from sickness and other problems, he does not get the time to hear from the mouth of the devotee. Or even if he does hear, he cannot discern the highest goal of human being and then carry out actions to attain it. Or the sequence of qualities can mean that all people have all the bad qualities. Manda, Sumanda Matayo, Manda Bhagya, Padrata. All the four qualities in sequence. People have all these bad qualities in Kali Yuga. So this is, we should understand our state of affairs in what, we are situated in. Very, very interesting purport both by Prabhupada and Vishnu Chakra Thakur. Okay. Now, having said that, you only give us what is the best, the highest Ekanta Shraya, because this is the affairs of Kali Yuga people. Now, in the next verse, they put forth this question that you know the essence of scriptures by which, the intellect is pleased, or yenatma prasiddhita, the atma can be satisfied. Prabhupada takes that, but here Vishnu Chakra Thakur takes as intellect is pleased. So you have studied everything. So you only give us the essence. So then they speak this verse. Bhurini bhuri karmani shrotavyani vibhagashah atah sadatra yatsaram samudratya manishaya bhuri bhadraya bhutanam yenatma suprasidati. O learned sage, sadhu, for the welfare of all living beings, bhadraya bhutanam, please, bruhi, after extracting the essence of scriptures, yat saram samudritya, using your wisdom, manishaya. Manishaya means one who is, uh, manisha means, man isha. He is the control of the mind and he can understand what is right and what is wrong using your wisdom. Describe the practices worthy of hearing, bhurini shotavyani vibhagasha, which include many actions, bhuri karmani, by which our intelligence will be satisfied. Yenatma suprasidati. So this has to be understood, this verse. And Prabhupada gives his purport from a different angle, and Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's translation and explanation is from a different angle. So please understand this verse carefully. Now, Prabhupada, in his translation, of course, I have not put the uh, uh, translation of Prabhupada, but let us see. There are many varieties of scripture. This is Prabhupada saying, Bhurini, Bhurini, he takes as, as many varieties of scriptures. And Karmani, and in those scriptures, there are many prescribed duties. And these many scriptures and many duties prescribed in the scriptures, they can be learned only after many years of study. And that there are divisions like Kshatriya, you have to study the Kshatriya scriptures, the Kautilya Shastra. For the Vaishyas, there is, the other Shastras which deal with, the Vaishya karma. The Brahmanas, they have their karma. So like that, there are various scriptures. In the Dharma Shastra, there are around 20 scriptures meant for, the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas. There are different divisions and they have to, studying those scriptures based on their nature, they have to do those actions. So this is how Prabhupada is explaining. Therefore, O sage, Ata, Sadhu, select the essence, Samudritya, Saram, and explain it for the good of all living beings so that by such instructions, their hearts may be fully satisfied. So, Yenatma Suprasiditi. Prabhupada translated it like this. Okay. So, I hope you understood the uh, way the translation is done by Vishwanath Chakra from a different angle and Prabhupada from a different angle. So Prabhupada's purport will make it that clear. Atma or self is distinguished from matter and material elements. So Prabhupada focuses on Yen Atma Suprasidati. It is spiritual in constitution and thus it is never satisfied by any amount of material planning. All scriptures and spiritual instructions are meant for the satisfaction of this Atma, self. There are many varieties of approaches which are recommended for different types of living beings in different types and different places. So there are varieties of scriptures for different types of living beings and different times also and places. Consequently, the number of revealed scriptures are innumerable. There are different methods and prescribed duties recommended in these various scriptures. So Bhuri Bhurini refer to the different scriptures and Bhuri Bhurini Karmani refer to the different types of actions for different people. Taking into the consideration of the fallen condition of the people in general in this age of Kali, the sages of Naimisharanya suggested that Sri Sut Goswami relate the essence of all such scriptures. There are so many scriptures give us the essence. That's it. Because in this age, it is not possible for the fallen souls to understand and undergo all the lessons of all these various scriptures in a Varna and a ashram setup. As I was mentioning, Brahmana has, Patan, Patan, Yajan, these are the qualities, Swabhav of the Brahmana, and he has different scriptures he has to follow. The Kshatriyas, they are Kshatriya Dharma. So they have to study the Kshatriya Shastras, like the Kautilya Shastras I was mentioning. Kautilya is the Artha Shastra, basically. So then the Vaishyas like that. So based on their Varna, based on the ashram also, there are different scriptures. The Brahmacharis read the Samhitas, the Grahasthas read especially the Yajur Veda, which deals with the Yagyas, the Brahmana portion of the Vedas, and the uh, Vanaprasthas read the Aranyaka portion of the Vedas, and the Sannyasis read the Upanishads. So there are different scriptures based on the ashram also. So nobody can undergo all these lessons from the various scriptures based on the Varna and the ashram. That's why you give us the essence. The Varna and the Ashram Society was considered to be the best institution for lifting the human being to the spiritual platform. It was the best, and it is the best also. But due to Kali Yuga, it is not possible to execute the rules and regulations of these institutions. So nobody can follow the rules and regulations of Varnashram, nor it is possible for the people in general to completely sever relationship with their families as the Varnashram institution prescribes. So the whole Varnashram institution, right from birth, when the umbilical cord is cut, how to cut the connection with the material right from there till the Anteshti Kriya, everything is how to cut, the relationship with the families is mentioned. But nobody in Kali Yuga can do that. The whole atmosphere is surcharged with opposition. And considering this, one can see that spiritual emancipation for the common man in this age is very difficult. The reason the sages presented this matter to Sut Goswami is explained in the following verses. So further Prabhupada is giving the connection. What is the reason it is difficult? So this is how Prabhupada explains. Now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, as I was mentioning, uh, he is mentioning that the different Bhuri Bhurini are the many things to be heard. The sages request, please tell us the principal means among all the processes for attaining the highest goal, which is easily executed by people living in Kali Yuga. So the principal means for attaining the highest goal, Ekanta Shaya. Tell us the many practices worthy of hearing about. Bhurini Shrotavyani. Those which should be practiced, which include many actions. Bhuri Karmani. So I hope you got it. Bhurini Shrotavyani, many practices worth hearing, and many actions which have to be practiced. So in bhakti, there is, hearing, the hearing of Bhagavatam. For us, that is the highest, Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam. And there are various sadhana bhakti actions to be done in sadhana bhakti. So the best are the 5 potent limbs, because by which easily you can attain prema. So many actions and the many practices worth hearing. Now, or tell us the scripture worthy of hearing, because they explain the many practices for attaining the highest goal, which themselves contain many actions by which our intelligence, Atma, becomes satisfied. So we all have experience that satisfaction of the self, Atma, we might not experience in the beginning stages of Krishna consciousness. But when we ask questions and when we get a very philosophical answer, then our intellect is satisfied. And when our intellect is satisfied, then we have faith. And with that faith, we take up to practice of Krishna consciousness. So here, the intelligence becomes satisfied, is being mentioned. Later, it will be explained that these actions are hearing, chanting, and other devotional acts. So, Bhurini Shrotavyani is hearing Bhagavatam, and chanting are the actions, chanting of the holy name. These are the actions. Okay. Any questions up till now? Any questions? Any clarifications? Okay, there is one hand only raised, so only we'll take this one question. Yes, Birendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dandot Pranam. Prabhu, here in this verse, term Yenatma, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur refers it as intelligence and Prabhupada as Atma. So, do we need to correlate this translation? I mean, how to see
No,
both?
no, when Prabhupada is explaining in his translation and his purport, we have to, the Shastra, the Acharyas, you know, they, you know, they present their commentaries based on their realizations and what they are seeing from a particular angle. When they see from that particular angle, we should see from that angle, from that vision, and relish that explanation. Vishwanath Chakra Thakur is seeing from another angle, and we should relish that explanation. Just like Krishna is Akhila Rasamrit Murti, when he enters the arena of Kamsa, the gopis are seeing him as Cupid. So they are relishing the Madhurya Ras. Whereas Krishna's, oh, he's our friend. So they are relishing the Sakya Ras. So you cannot mix the Madhurya and the Sakya Ras, right? So similarly, when we study uh, uh, one of the particular Acharya's commentary, we should relish from his viewpoint and relish that explanation and that rasa which is coming from that explanation. And when we study from Prabhupada's commentary, Prabhupada is presenting from one viewpoint, and we should study from that angle and relish that explanation. Okay, I hope it is clear.
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much. Thank you very
Yes. Okay. Okay. So this is the second question. Good. Now, the sages of Naimisharanya mentioned that we want to hear Bhuri Bhurini Karmani, Bhurini Shotavyani. So they want to hear. Now we are very specific. They want to hear about the recent incarnation which had appeared, that is Lord Krishna. They want to hear about the Lord's pastime. They make it very clear. You should tell us who desire to hear the purpose of Lord Krishna's appearance from Devaki. So Krishna's pastimes right from birth. Why did Krishna appear? What is the reason Krishna appeared? So that's how they pose this third question in verse 12. Sutajanasi bhadram te Bhagavan satvatam patihi devakyam vasudevasya jato yas chikirshaya. O Suta, blessings to you. Bhadram te, you know Janasi. For what purpose jato yasya chikirshaya, the Lord, Master of the Yadus, Bhagavan Satvatam Pati, appeared in Devaki, the wife of Vasudeva. Devakyam Vasudevasya. So Krishna appeared in this world so that when he performs his pastimes, there is unlimited matter for the devotees to hear. And this is what is to be heard. So I hope you got the connection now of the sages speaking this verse. Now let's go to Prabhupada's commentary. Bhagavan means the Almighty God, who is the control of all opulences, power, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. Shadaishwarya. He gives the definition of Shadaishwarya. He is the protector of his pure devotees. Satvatam Pati. Although God is equally disposed to everyone, he is especially inclined to his devotees. Samoham Sarvabhuteshu. Prabhupada is quoting this verse in the Bhagavad Gita, 9.20. 9.20. 28. 9.29. Samoham Sarvabhuteshu na me dvesho sti na priya. He is equal to everyone. But ye bhajante tu mam bhaktya. But one who worships me in devotion, I also reciprocate. So Prabhupada is equally disposed to everyone, but he's especially inclined to his devotees. Sat means the absolute truth. And the persons who are servitors of the absolute truth are called Satvatas. And the personality of Godhead who protects such pure devotees is known as the protector of the Satvata. Satvata Pati. Actually, the Lord is only our Pati. For any chaste wife, the husband is also Pati. But we know in the case of Draupadi, none of the powerful 5 husbands could protect in that Sabha. And then ultimately she had to take shelter of Govinda. So the real Pati is the Lord. You should always remember that. Raghupati. Bhadramte, blessings upon you, indicates the sage's anxiety to know the absolute truth from the speaker. Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, appeared to Devaki, the wife of Vasudeva. Vasudeva is the symbol of the transcendental position wherein the appearance of the Supreme Lord takes place. Very, very important statement here. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. So Vasudev is the Shuddha Sattva platform. And in that Shuddha Sattva platform, the Lord manifests. So Vasudev, from Vasudev state, appears Vasudev. Vasudev is Krishna. Vasudev. So Vasudev was situated in the transcendental platform, and the Lord appeared in the heart of Vasudev, and from the heart he was transmitted to the heart of Devaki, and from there he manifested. So Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. Vishwanath Chakra Thakur. Again, the sages request Sut to speak about the practice of hearing and chanting about Krishna and Yashoda. So I hope now you get the connection that they want to hear actually Krishna Leela. That is the essence of scriptures, that one should hear about Krishna Leela. So that is why they are asking why the Lord appeared. The Lord appeared so that he can perform unlimited pastimes. So there is matter for hearing. So they want to hear Krishna Leela. All auspicious to you, Bhadram Te, is a blessing pronounced out of enthusiasm. It's not that they are disciples. So Goswami is spiritual master, and they are blessing him Bhadram Te. No, it's just out of enthusiasm they are speaking this. Vishnu is called Satwan, possessor of Sat, like Bhagavan. Bhagavan means possessor of 6 opulences. So Vishnu is Satwan, possessor of Sat, because he possesses all the devotees as his expansions. The devotees are called as Sat, and there is expansions. He possesses them. Vishnu possesses them. The followers of Vishnu are then called Satvatas. Satvata, followers of Satwan is Satvata. Use of Satvatam as a possessive plural instead of Satvatanam is a poetic license. So it is actually Satvatanam, but when composing a verse, there is license given by the authors to, use a different term because the number of aksharas have to fit. So that's why it is a poetic license. Or the word Satvata may be derived from the south root Sat, which takes a causative meaning, giving pleasure. And this is again according to Sanskrit rules. We'll not go into it. So this is a Paninian rule. He says the noun Sat, he who gives pleasure, is Paramatma, the Supreme Lord. Those who possess the Lord by service are then called Satvata or devotees. The devotees who give pleasure to the Lord, and the Lord gives pleasure to the devotees. The possessive plural form is Satvatanam. Satvatapati then means the Lord of the devotees. He's the Lord of the devotees. You know for what purpose the Lord, Master of the Yadis, was born in Devaki, the wife of Vasudevasya. He appeared to broadcast his wonderful qualities, not to relieve the burden of the earth. This is proved in Kunti's conclusive statement. Bhavesmin klishyamananam avidya kama karmabhi shravana smarana arhani karishyan itikechana. Some say that itikechana, you appear to engage those suffering in this material world. Bhave asmin klishyamanana, due to their actions covered by ignorance. Avidya kama karmavi, the desire in hearing and remembering about you to attain prema. Shravana, smarana, arhanani, karishyan. So the Lord appears in this world so that we can hear his wonderful pastimes and become free from the suffering of this material world. So that is why the sages wanted to hear specifically about Krishna's appearance. Okay. Text 13 now. Any questions up till now? Anyone has? Any questions? Any clarifications? Okay, so we will take the next verse and then conclude the discussion. Tannah shushmananam arhasanganuvarnitum yasyavataro bhutanam shemaya cha pavaya cha. O Suta Anga, you should describe arhasya anuvarnitam, that Lord to us. That Lord, who is Lord Krishna in the previous verse, who are eager to hear. Tanna shu samananam. Shu mananam means eager to hear. The Lord made his appearance, yes, avataro, for what? For the liberation and material prosperity of all beings. Shemaya cha, bhavaya cha. So now the sages are expressing their eagerness to hear Krishna Leela. And you describe it. And this Lord who appeared, Suta Janasya Badram Te, Devaki Putram, in the previous verse I just mentioned, the Lord appeared for the liberation and the prosperity of the living beings. Prabhupada. Prabhupada says that this verse speaks the conditions for hearing the transcendental message of the absolute truth are set forth herein. What are the conditions? First condition is the audience must be very sincere and eager to hear. And the speaker must be in the disciplinic succession of the recognized from the recognized Acharya. Now the speaker should be in the disciplinic succession. Where in the verse is it mentioned here? Where in the verse it is mentioned? Anyone else? I would like to see others. Where in the verse is that it is mentioned that he should be coming in the disciplinic succession? I want devotees to think, and Prabhupada's purports are very deep. So one should dive deep, dig a little bit. That's why when we read the commentary, we should map it with the verse where Prabhupada is explaining this part of the verse. Devhuti Kapil Prabhuji, yes.
Prabhuji, is it Yasya Avataro?
Yasya Avataro, no. Yasya Avataro is his appearance. Abhay Inge Prabhuji, yes.
Anuvarnitam Prabhu.
Excellent. It is Varnitam means to explain. Anu means, following the previous acharyas, following the disciplined succession. Anu is, referring that. That is Anu. Anu is here. The transcendental message of the absolute is not understandable by those who are materially absorbed. Under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master, one becomes gradually purified. Please mark this, gradually purified. So if you are materially absorbed and going and hearing message, it doesn't, you cannot understand, grasp it. So one should, follow the directions of the spiritual master, and then gradually it'll become. Therefore, one must be in the chain of discipline succession and learn the spiritual art of submissive hearing. You should submissively hear. Shushushu mananam. In the case of Sud Goswami and the sages of Naimisharanya, all these conditions are fulfilled because Srila Sud Goswami is in the line of Srila Vyasdev, and the sages of Naimisharanya are all sincere souls who are anxious to learn the truth. So devotees, when we come to classes to hear, we should be very eager to hear. We should very submissively hear, and we should be anxious to know what is being spoken. And then we can make advancement. Krishna sees that. And then he blesses us. Thus, the transcendental topics of Lord Sri Krishna's superhuman activities, his incarnation, his birth, appearance or disappearance, his forms, his names, and so on, are easily understandable because all requirements are fulfilled. Yasya avatar Shemaya Bhavaya, Prabhupada is mentioning. Then, lovely. Such discourses help all men on the path of spiritual realization. Now, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur. What is the result of curiosity about Krishna? We will feel ourselves successful by hearing about him. So that's why they asked only about Krishna. The sentence in the second line actually continues until verse 16, connected by the word yasya in this verse with the correlative is tasya in verse 16. Yasya will connect to tasya in verse 16. From verse 13 to 16, there is a connection. There is a flow which is happening after asking the third question in verse 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. They continue why they want to hear only about Krishna. They continue that verses, and then only, it's not that 6 questions, ninth verse is first question, 10th is second question, 11th is 12th question, 13th is 14th next question. No, after putting the first verse, first question, why we want you are long lived, you know what is the ultimate benefit, because this is the state of affairs of people in Kali Yuga, that they are alpayusha. And then you have studied all the scriptures, give us the essence. That's why they put forth the second question. And then the third question is, we want to hear about Krishna because he's the avatari. And why we want to hear only about Krishna? Verses 13 to 16 are going to explain. The Lord appeared for the liberation, Shemaya, and prosperity, Bhavaya, of the living beings. What else remains for him to do? Okay. So it's sharp 8:30. It's almost 2 minutes more than 8:30. We will stop here. So from 14 to 23, we will take up tomorrow. Any questions or clarifications anyone has? Ravi Kant Prabhuji, yes, one question will take.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Prabhuji, as explain about like Mandbhagya, Upadritam, and all these qualities of Kali Yuga has been explained. So there is a very less chances of getting, Suddha Bhakti, and very, very, if you calculate in percentage, is very less. So how to get it? How to achieve that goal?
Prabhupada has given the solution right in the purport. So we should study that purport, that's why carefully. First thing is, Upadrita is all afflictions because of health. And Prabhupada is giving the solution there. In the first paragraph, it is one by eating very simple food. If we eat very simple food, then we'll not have health problems. And then Prabhupada is mentioning all the distractions. So we should avoid those distractions so that we can associate with devotees. And education. So we should more take spiritual education. And whatever is required for my maintenance, that much only. Now just it's a thought, just to reflect on. For our maintenance of our body, for 25 years we study. An engineering graduate or a medical graduate, from the age of 5 till the age of 25 or 30. So 25, 30 years you're studying material books just for the maintenance of the body. So should we not devote next 25 years to study spiritual books then, like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam? We don't calculate like that. So we expect that within 3-4 years, we will start, become Bhagavad Kathakars. We should devote 20-30 years of study as much as we have devoted for material education. So one should, evaluate like this and work on. I have studied, many times. I know sometimes, I'm giving just an example. Chartered accountants, to become a CA, you have to study a lot, 5 years, intense study, a lot of books you have to study. So similarly, to become a spiritualist, you have to also devote that much time and study spiritual literatures. So that's how we should see those points which Prabhupada has given in the purport from a positive perspective and apply those and become free from the ill effects of Kali Yuga. I hope it clarifies your question.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. But
Okay.
still some open thoughts are coming
There
out.
is no but and still. We have to work on it.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
We have to. Okay. Okay. So thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Hare Krishna.